Nikola Tesla began as a student of Thomas Edison. Soon, a rivalry began as both inventors came up with their own ideas of how the world should be powered. Tesla created the AC, alternating current system, while Edison created the DC, direct current system. Their feud in the 1880s became known as the War of Currents. Tesla's strengths came from his eidetic memory, which meant he would remember intricate details of images or objects. Tesla created his inventions in his mind, rarely using paper to sketch it out, but only had 300 patents to Edison's 1,093. The rivalry was fueled as Edison dismissed Tesla's idea about the AC and pushed his own, less efficient system. It is said that Edison's invention of the light bulb and phonograph could have been created by other scientists as well who were working on similar technologies. Edison's name is echoed throughout history with his invention of the light bulb, as sadly Tesla is forgotten, though he created the backbone of modern power.
How does Edison, an arrogant, impudent, Aryan, bastard barbarian, somehow destroy me entirely? I'm his enemy, a man he's despised since the beginning, just to keep me from winning. I wanna show the world how it happened, the world how it happened, the world how it happened. You've kept me from the world, so it happens. I am out of time. Dear Edison, sir, I'm slow to anger, but I toe the line as I reckon with the effects of your life on mine. I look back on what we've built, and in every place I checked, your larceny of me is all I recollect. You mock my inventions and lie to my face. Now I'm all alone, I have no home, my life is such an empty place. I have the honor to be your obedient servant, Endates.
Nikola, I am not the reason no one loves you. No one knows you are a thing. I will not equivocate on my opinion. All we had was a little fling. I never did what you say I did. I am nothing but an ordinary scholar. Well, I guess I do kind of owe you $50,000.
Sweet Jesus.
Hey, I have not been shy. I am just a guy in the public eye trying to show the flaws in your inventions. I don't want to fight, but I won't apologize for doing what's right. I have the honor to be your obedient servant, T.Ed.
All you did was kill that poor man. Intemperate indeed, you're no man. Answer for the accusations I lay at your feet. You're just a businessman. You're being ridiculous. I stand by what I said, every bit of it. You stand only for your wealth. It's what you do. I can't apologize because it's true.
Lewis Nixon studied naval architecture in college, finishing at the top of his class. His brilliance continued as he became a political activist and public servant speaking at the Democratic Party about the corruption in the city government. He then moved on and designed the world's first battleship. After the ship was complete, he decided to leave the Navy and work on his own for a shipbuilding company. He then created his own business in the Crescent Shipyard, which made the first submarine as well. These creations were huge steps for the Navy and the United States and led to an order for more submarines for the Navy. These were the first underwater fighting vessels that were used to protect both coasts for the United States. Nixon created the beginning for modern water warfare that we continue to use today. Born in Belgium, Leo Baekeland was a scholar in the field of chemistry, and soon after graduating college became a professor of chemistry and physics at a school in Belgium. He had many travel scholarships to England and America through his work. When visiting New York in 1889, he met a professor at Columbia University. The professor saw great potential in Leo and convinced him to stay and move to America, where he later got his citizenship for. He worked with the professor and his company for a couple of years before becoming pretty ill, causing him to rethink his life and eventually returning him to his original interests. After 2 years of intensive effort, he invented the first commercially successful photographic paper. At the time, the U.S. was suffering a recession, and there were no investors or buyers for his proposed new product. So Baekeland became partners with Leonard Jacobi and established the Nepera Chemical Company. This was the first paper company that could be developed under artificial light. After many years, he would go on to create a chemical structure that is known as Bakelite. Bakelite was the first plastic made from synthetic components. This invention marked the beginning of the age of plastics and shaped the way America developed. Wilbur Wright and Orville grew up in 1878 and spent their childhood playing with each other and spending time, just the two of them, out of a family of 5 children. Their interests for flying began as their father, a preacher, brought back a toy helicopter for the boys after one of his trips. Wilbur was extremely smart and was set up to go to Yale after high school, until a hockey accident occurred and brought him into a deep depression. Wilbur never finished high school. Wilbur and Orville's obsession with flying was sparked with their interest in the working of bicycles. The brothers then moved on to trying to figure out how to design wings for flight. They studied birds' wings to emulate how they angled for control. On December 17, 1903, the brothers finally succeeded in using their research and experiments to do a controlled flight for 59 seconds at over 800 feet. The Wright brothers were not given the appreciation and fame they deserved in their time. It wasn't until much later that people could look back and see the Wright brothers as brilliant pioneers and inventors in American history. Alexander started out as a teacher for the deaf in Scotland. His hearing-impaired mother is what pushed his career. Since he was a child, he loved problem-solving and invented something at age 12 to help separate wheat from the husks for his friend's father.
I can't get it to work, the telephone. I have tried everything, I've taken loans. And should I build again, what will I find? The telephone cannot be built. I've lost my mind.
I have discovered it, the solution. A liquid transmitter, no confusion. And though Bell follows me from right behind, the solution for the phone is there inside my mind.
Although he found the key, I'll be the first to make the telephone really work. I'll be the first to patent the phone. The future of the world lies here inside my mind.
Alexander moved to the U.S. and continued working as a teacher for the deaf. Alexander Bell became focused on advancing communication and especially voice messages, and finally in 1878 he created the telephone. For the next 20 years, Bell faced many legal battles as other inventors claimed to have invented the telephone before him. None of the lawsuits were ever successful. Bell became uninterested in the business of selling telephones and soon after sold his shares for a sizable fortune, which he used to create a laboratory working to improve the lives of those with hearing impairments.